Hey guys, it's Thomas here from Basketball Mentor. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about playing time and in particular, how to get more of it. So if you're not playing a lot or if you're not playing at all, then this video is for you because I'm going to show you 3 things that you can do right now to help change that. Okay, so we've all been there, right? Sitting at the end of the bench or only playing very limited minutes. Well, today I'm going to give you the solution. I'm going to show you exactly what it is that you need to do and change to flip the script, get yourself in the game and become important to your team. And surprise, surprise, it all starts with how you think basketball. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is you have to take responsibility and start looking inwards. I've talked to a lot of players by now who were at times complaining about lack of playing time, and they all have one thing in common. Sadly, they are all blaming others for not getting playing time. Realize that even 2 or 3 minutes at the end of a half is still a chance. And if you are honestly good enough to play at that level, then you should have been able to make something happen. And I'm not talking about going on a scoring rampage or anything crazy like that, but you should have been able to affect the game in a positive way by making a few good plays. And this is something players fail to realize when they're complaining about playing time, that maybe they have already been given a fair amount of chances. They simply have just blown them. Realize that you need to produce in order to claim playing time. So maybe you're not effective enough yet. Maybe you make bad choices in terms of the shots you take. You turn the ball over, you hold the ball, or you don't know your place. Or maybe there's just somebody on your team, an older player with a proven track record who's playing ahead of you with stats that actually verify that this player should play ahead of you, and this stuff matters. Realize that even if you do everything right from today on, it's still going to take some time to convince your coach that you are a different and changed player. So you have to stay focused, you have to stay persistent, and you have to stay patient. And you also have to make sure that they see you as a player with a clear player identity that they can use strategically in their grandmaster plan, which of course is to win the game. So my question is to you, do you have a niche? Do you have something that you contribute to your team with that nobody else does as good as you? The second thing you have to do is you have to make practice and warm-ups your games. Because at the moment, the players ahead of you are either better or at least perceived to be better by your coach. And you have to catch up to them by doing something different. So you have to look like a player that deserves more. And in order to do this, you have to get a plan. You have to implement specific routines before practice, during practice, after practice, individual training sessions, and specific routines in warm-ups, so that every time you step into the gym, people who observe you will notice that you stand out. And realize that nobody does this. It's so common if you go to a game and you watch warm-ups that the players who are not playing, their warm-up is filled with fancy moves and trying to dunk the ball real crazy, but it's not specific and it's not put into a routine, so they're not actually working on something. And then at halftime, most of the time it gets sloppy, and you can actually see that they've given up. They know they're not going to be playing, or they're at least not preparing themselves seriously for those 2 minutes at the end of the game where They might have a chance to show that, hey, this is wrong, I should be playing more. So you have to set yourself apart from that. You cannot take any part in this. You have to show your coach and use every chance you get to show your coach and everybody watching that you are serious, systematic, and specific about anything you do. Every time a player complains to me about lack of playing time, I immediately ask them, well, how is your relationship with your coach? How and how much do you actually interact with your coach? And most of the time the answer is that there's very little interaction and the player might not even like his or her coach because there's obvious resentment and they don't really want to engage with them because they feel like it's kissing ass. But this whole mind frame is wrong, and that is a big part of the reason why you're not getting playing time. Realize that you want your coach to adopt you. And by this I mean that they take a serious interest in you as a development project and not just winning the games. And you do this by opening up to them, by talking to them, by asking them questions, by simply just relating to them, asking them for feedback, asking them for help defining your role and finding the niche, the little things that can set you apart, that can help you provide something to the team that nobody else does. And you also have to acknowledge them. Acknowledge your coach when he or she speaks by keeping eye contact, by nodding in agreement when instructions are given, and by not making any more excuses. Realize that if you really don't like your coach, he or she will sense it. And the reason for this is simple. If you've ever been in a room with somebody you don't like or you know doesn't like you, well, your interactions are going to be affected by this. They are going to be shorter, they are going to be less eye contact, less smiling, less positive energy, maybe a closed off body language, and simply a lesser interest in even having the interaction. But you have to remember that you are constantly signaling something to your coach, and a coach is also a human being who gets emotionally influenced by what the players are signaling to them. So you have to make sure that the thoughts you think about your coach are not standing in the way of you getting playing time. Realize that maybe you're right. Maybe your coach is an asshole. Maybe he or she doesn't like you and doesn't care about your individual basketball player development. But what would you rather be, right or smart? Because if you want to be right, then stay right. Stay angry, stay annoyed, stay frustrated, but where will that get you? Or you can choose to be smart. You can choose to be the one who forgives, who starts fresh, who starts up a positive dialogue, who humbles him or herself and gets rid of the "you owe me playing time" attitude and replaces this with the "I'm willing to listen and learn" attitude. If you can take these three things to heart and take responsibility, not complaining and not bitching about your situation, if you can make practice and warm up your games and implement these specific routines that will help you work on all your aspects of your game and show that you are serious while you befriend your coach and establish a new and positive coach-player relationship, then you have an honest chance of turning your situation around. And that's what you want, right? So choose to be the smart player, not the player who's right, and start thinking basketball. Thanks for watching, you guys. If you have any questions related to basketball or individual basketball player development, just leave it in the comments or hit me up over on BasketballMentor.com. Also, if you'd like to train with me, join the group training sessions, you can check out my website for that. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with anybody you think this might be of use to. And I will see you in the next video.